We ready to do this?
Yep.
I've been recording this whole time. This is unnecessary.
I got 3 minutes of recording. Okay. I can go for 13 hours more before my hard drive.
Can we clap? It does help.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're gonna clap. We're gonna do.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, clap. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna make you do it again if we up.
Just relax, Sean. 1, 2, 3.
No. Try again.
That was fine.
No, it wasn't fine.
1, 2, 3.
No, Jason's off. You're like off by like a half second. Again.
You two sound perfect to me, except for you sound like you're coming after me. All right, last time.
Okay.
Idiots. All right, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, 3. It's good as it's gonna get. Let's go.
See, on my screen, you're behind, Sean, so you can just suck a fat
Yeah, but I'm the one recording everybody together, so...
We'll get faster Canadian internet.
I have fast Canadian internet.
Well, all right, stop. Let's go. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 121 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby.
Remember when you did that to me? I was like, where's my bag of chips?
We're a new indie band.
Bobby's so bad.
You come here Tuesday, I'm going to punch you in the face. The minute I see you, I'm going to...
That's going to be the best.
Please don't. I can't afford your hospitals.
You're gonna find out what it's all about.
That's going to be the best Nintendo Guru
all
daily
right,
ever.
get it together, Bobby. Do this show.
I am together. You it up.
Love you.
That was so good, too. It was spot on. Man.
I know. It's amazing.
Okay. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 121 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby, joined by the biggest jackass in all the land, Sean Capri.
It is so weird, man. Your voice cut out when you said guru again.
No, it did not.
I swear to God.
Yeah,
that is so weird. I'm leaving it in. I'm not going to make you upset by making you do it again. That's so weird. It's the word guru.
You.
Yeah, the internet's like, no, you're not, Bobby.
No, I'm doing it again.
Well, okay. That's so, because it did for you too?
Yeah.
That's so
weird.
What the
hell is going on with this thing?
Like just for the word
but it's
guru.
only this show. It's only this show. It doesn't do it on Nintendo,
that is
PlayStation.
bizarre.
It doesn't do it with Chelsea. All right, listen. Here we go.
It must be me.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to you.
I just love the
eruptive swear. Gentle sip of my drink.
If We Ran Nintendo.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 121 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the greatest co-host in all the land, Sean Capri.
Bobby, we did it. We are here. If We Ran Nintendo, me and you, and our other best friend in all the land, the beard. All the beards are here, except for me. I don't have a beard. Hi, Bobby. Hi, hello.
Hello, Sean. And also joined by the greatest beard in all the land, Mr. Jason Lacy. What is up, Jason?
Hi, guys. Hi. I'm glad we do all these video podcasts so we can slowly watch as my hair slowly becomes swallowed up by my forehead. It's growing bigger.
Well, you're getting more hair on your beard. And
Dude, when it's gone up top, I'm going full Viking.
But I think it's pulling. That's the problem. It's pulling your hair out of the top of your head. So maybe if you shave the beard, it would come back.
Then my wife will divorce me.
Really?
Like yeah, she likes the beard. She says if I ever clean shaven, no deal.
Wow, get out.
Yeah, it's great for me.
If I can lose some weight, that's the caveat. If I can lose some weight, I'm going to shave the beard. Because the beard kind of gives me a jawline. When I don't, I have no... It's like...
Yeah, I just don't have a jaw.
Yeah, it goes straight down to my gut. Like it's a flat wall here.
Bobby, I can identify. I call it Simpson's neck. it just goes right down to. There's nothing there.
Please, dude, would you stop? You are like.
He's got it together, man.
I know this guy.
Oh boy. No.
He's all clean cut and everything. Like
Man.
He's working it.
Anyway,
Stop,
working it.
guys.
So before we came on the air, right? You guys were like, "I'm ready, and I was like, "I need a few more minutes. Dude, I got this effed up addiction right now. I've been watching This Is Us.
Oh my god.
Wow.
We lost him.
Dude, this show.
This took a turn.
This show.
We are not talking about This Is Us right
You
now.
stop. Because Adam Leonard just started high-fiving the
Oh
air.
my god, we mentioned him
Like,
again.
So the thing of it is this. I don't know why I started watching it. Well, I know why I started watching it.
You're like, I need a good cry.
No. Well, no.
I reliably need to just bawl my eyes out. Like,
I'm a huge fan of Justin Hartley because I liked him when he was on Smallville. So when I heard he was on this, I was like, I gotta watch this show now. Like, I love Justin Hartley. Let me watch it. And man, that was a mistake. That was the biggest mistake I ever did. I'm sitting in the living room crying like a little baby, like for hours. Like, I've never seen a show in my life, literally every single episode, just rip your heart out.
I just
But
want
it's
to.
so
Okay,
good.
I'm glad you enjoy it, Bobby, and I don't want to like tear you away from it. But I have zero respect for a bunch of writers. I killed Bobby. I have zero respect for a bunch of writers who their main mission in life is to come up with the saddest, most sadistic garbage to happen to these poor people. It's not. That's not a talent. That's
My coffee all over the place. That's everything. Oh my god, man.
I'm sorry, Bobby.
Wow, man.
But you know, maybe
like-
we should do a podcast that just makes people bawl their eyes out all the time.
What, is it a pressure cooker or is it a crock pot? I can't remember what's the deadly device that you can't buy because that show.
I do that.
Pressure
Sean.
cooker.
Every time I wind up going on a show that's not video game related, I start breaking down.
Fair enough. See, it's not hard. You just you go on, you start talking, all of a sudden crying.
You start talking
So
personal
I have
stuff
zero respect for these guys. Good for you. Good for you. You make everybody bawl their eyes out. Why don't you inspire somebody? Why don't you want somebody to be happy?
Stop it. It's a really good show.
Oh, so it's making people feel better about their lives because they don't have all these horrible things happening to them? Or maybe they do?
And you realize, because you watch it and you realize, I'm not the only one that goes through this stuff. That's why This Is Us. It's basically
you're like crying on your couch. This is us.
Okay, so we'll dive, or now we're gonna dive in.
Oh, Jesus.
No, because I watched,
oh my God,
stop. So I watched.
You're gonna piss off Todd so much.
I don't care. Who cares? We gotta have something to talk about to make you mad. So the thing of it is I was watching the episode where there was an episode where the sister lost her baby, and that seeing the whole thing break down, that affected me on a personal level. That really because I think they nailed the guy's perspective of how he was feeling in doing all that. I could relate so much to what he was saying and what he was thinking and all that stuff. So it was, for me, that's why
Well, now you take it to a place that I can't make fun of it anymore, Bobby. Thanks a lot for
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank
Well, I
you.
guess I'll just sit here and let you finish then.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So
You're a real son of a bitch.
Not everything's a joke, Sean. Not everything's a joke.
It should be a joke. Everything should be a joke.
Not everything's a joke.
Let's
That's
laugh
not
a little
joke.
bit.
It's a hurtful moment, and I'm glad that you're making fun of my hurtful moment.
I'm not. I just don't want to talk about it.
Anyway, let's kick this episode
yeah.
off like we do each and every episode with our shout-outs.
What else do we do? I can't remember. Geek outs. Oh yeah, what you playing? Brought to you by Flex to Post.
We're not doing what you're playing. Would you stop it, man? I don't like that you changed that whole thing.
I like that a lot.
It was a nice little rhythm that we had.
Can I tell you what I haven't done since that segment went away? I'll tell you. What am I playing? Nothing. I'm not playing anything on my Switch.
5-star reviews because of that segment.
That's right.
So many 5-star reviews.
That's right.
We're not getting any 5-star reviews because Apple is horrible.
Well, something from Shaka can
That's
steal.
fair.
Oh, it's time for Flux with Flux. Flux with Flux.
That's stupid.
Dude!
Anyway.
It's time to game with the Dave. Dude!
Ain't no G's in playing Nintendo.
So I wanted to do this shout out because this guy was a staple in the early years.
Ooh.
In terms of like, we gave a lot of shout outs to him in the early years because he was always coming. And I know he still listens to the show because the other day he got mad at me because the show wasn't working.
Gabe Hills.
And that's why I want to reach out to him. No.
Damn it.
Greg Caldwell.
Get out of here!
Yeah, Greg Caldwell. He reached out to me the other day and he was like, "Hey man, I'm having an issue with the episode. It's not playing for me." And I was like, "Well, you know." Then I tried to analyze it and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on with it because it was working for me and nobody else was saying that it wasn't working for them. Everybody else seemed to be having no issues with it. So I told him, I was like, delete the episode and re-download it. And he's like, oh, I did it like 3 times. It's still not working. But anyway, Greg, man, I'm so happy that you reached out to us. It's been a while. And I just wanted to say, man, I hope you're doing well. And I hope everything's good with you. I love this guy. He is so passionate about Nintendo. Anybody that's in a Nintendo voice chat, like, he is always there, like, just swinging for the fences, like defending Nintendo. But although he's kind of changed a little bit now, he's a little bit more seeing things from the middle of the road a little bit better than he was years ago. But when he gets into something, man, he is so passionate, and I love that and respect that so much. So I just wanted to give him a little shout out, and yeah. So, do you gentlemen have anybody you would shout out before I?
Very quickly, Johnny Casino, the new king of one-on-one interviews on podcast land. Had he's built something really great with Radio's Lame. Your episode was amazing and amazing. You know, I'm just so impressed with his ability to sneak in 4 questions. He got 4 whole questions in 90 minutes. I'm so impressed, Johnny Casino. Guys, go check out Radio's Lame. In all seriousness, it's really, really good. Bobby's fine, but Johnny's really creating something awesome. So it's anybody who's like making shows, or they wanted to make shows, or wanted to find out what it's like to make shows and get in the minds of these crazy people like us. It's a really cool thing, man. And I feel like I'm on my heels, honestly. I'm like, man, I gotta step it up.
About time we cancel We the Gamercast.
That's right.
That's right. I agree on both folds.
Yeah, it's definitely past due. Yeah.
And it's time to shut that thing down.
Yeah,
guys, I think it's important we recognize that Bobby's son had a birthday this week.
Oh yeah,
Joseph Moran Pauls.
Oh
it's
yeah,
hyphenated. Not many people know that it's hyphenated. So that's how he sneaks around that. But there were some. I saw some excellent GIF work going around the Twitterverse in celebration.
Rivo, he kills it, dude. That little montage of him.
Oh my god, the montage with the stripping and then the deal with the glasses and
oh my god, so funny.
Ribo steals the shout out as well because he's Ribo.
Yeah,
he's Ribo.
Actually, it should be shout outs brought to you by Ribo.
Just stop trying to sponsor everything, okay? Just let it go.
Okay, the first topic is brought to you by the Xbox Drive.
When we get real, you don't bring up the Xbox Drive unless you start paying some money, okay? That's how we're going to start doing
okay. You know what? I'll be your first patron.
Yeah, like he's gonna start throwing Xbox.
I'll start your Patreon for you.
He's gonna start throwing that make us better money around here.
Now, everybody go to patreon.com/Sean started Bobby's Patreon. And that's it. I don't know what's gonna happen. You're supposed to cut me off when I get to a dumb idea and run out of. What segment are we in?
You would never talk if I did that. We're now going to jump into topics. So our first.
Topics.
Topic time.
We have 2 topics. I think we'll be able to hit them both. Shouldn't really be too much of an issue. But the reason why I got this topic was of a conversation that took place at E3 with me. So I kind of wanted to touch on this a little bit, and I'll go into everything where this all came from. But if we ran Nintendo, would we bring back instruction booklets for first-party physical copies of the games? But on top of that, would we adjust pricing? Would we leave the pricing the way it is? What's the type of value that we would do with these things? And also, would we start to push and enforce third parties to start doing this type of thing? So the whole topic idea came to me when I was at E3, and I met one of the owners of Nicholas, and we were having a conversation, and I was just like, man, I am a huge fan of what you guys. What the hell is wrong?
Are you hearing crickets?
Yeah. There's like I thought it was,
I got the window open, man.
At first I thought like, is someone playing a sound clip to F with me right now?
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
I'm sorry. I have the windows open. It's hot here.
I'm just glad we mentioned it because surely other people were like, "What?" They feel like we're shooting
by
this
the
in the
wood,
back.
so it's,
okay,
so
yeah,
you can hear it.
Yeah.
I can shut the window. That's a
no, it's charming. It's charming.
Now we know that it's there. We're
felt like I was in Animal Crossing. I was like, maybe I'll just go grab some bugs or something.
All right, let's back it up. Back it up. So the idea was when I was at E3, as I was actually leaving E3, wait for my Uber to show up. One of the owners of Nicholas, he actually came up to Jules and was talking to Jules, and I went up and met him. Jules introduced me, and I was just like, hey, man, I'm a huge fan of what you guys are doing. I think you guys are doing phenomenal work with the physical copies of these games, and I wish other companies would do it. He kind of got into some things, and I don't want to really say some things because it's not really my place. But at the end of the day, it made me wonder, like, A, why did companies stop? And I guess ultimately it was money, a money issue. Yeah. But what do you guys think? Is this something that it's a no-brainer to go back, or what are you guys feeling about it, Sean?
I think when I think about like why would they want to do it, it's such an obvious thing to cut because nobody is buying that game for the instruction booklet. Nobody's gonna be like, I'm definitely gonna pick this up because it has an instruction booklet. Like if they want to play the game, they're playing the game. I think for indie developers, it is a nice add-on to kind of go and it's an easy way for them to stand out across all the other indies. Very small games. A lot of them are kind of that 8-bit or 16-bit kind of look. So in a lot of ways, things are looking the same. So it's an easy way for those things to stand out. But in terms of like engendering your gamer base, I think instruction booklets are really important actually. Like, so if it's like a game, especially for first party stuff, if you're trying to have people like love your world, love the world that this game lives in or the series or the franchise, I think that there's nothing better than like that physical thing that you can like read up on all the enemies. Like I really miss the list of all the enemies and like their story, and like we see all the things like you can dig through all the old stuff and find like what Mario's like middle name or something, or his weight or something. There's stuff that people were like throwing out there. I think they're super important. So my short answer is yes, but I want to throw it to Jason before I ramble on for too long.
I'm kind of torn because I grew up obviously with instruction booklets, and I remember flipping through them and getting your random backstory on your characters that made sense in the booklet but no sense with the game. And things like that. And I think it's a cool feature, but I guess I don't, at the same time, I don't miss them. But I think it's something cool that you could offer at a certain, like, I don't know if I want to say collector's edition, but it's cool to have like a different bundle of the game that includes that rather than to have every version of the game. Yeah, because I think there are going to be price issues with manufacturing costs and packaging with all that. And it has to have, maybe not just be an instructional booklet, but it will have something more for the game. Yeah, we could have the lore in there, but we could have you can have some of your behind the making of or your behind the scenes stuff for the game, because let's face it, all of our games have to. If we could get us away from the tutorial level nonsense, then okay, then I'd be okay with that. Because
and that's kind of what I thought too. Because you think about it, like play a game nowadays, and it's like press A to do this and press B to do this, and it's like I don't always remember it later on in the game.
Big time.
And especially a game that like maybe I put down a little bit.
Yes, exactly.
And then I got to go back. It's like, oh my God, how do I do this? And it was so much easier as a kid to just grab the book and flip it. Oh man, what am I doing? It's just a B. I push B and I'm good to go. And we don't have that luxury anymore, because there was also a time when Nintendo used to put digital instruction booklets on the discs.
Yeah.
And they stopped doing that too. So it's like, it was crazy because you would actually get the actual digital instruction booklet. It would look
How
identical
hard is that? Yeah,
to the book.
PDF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if they offered us that, it would probably be a little bit better. You know, I just feel like take the step and do something special.
Well, especially like when the Switch is a tablet. Like, I love. Have you ever read a comic on your iPad or something like that? Like the interactive thing and the way that like zooms in on the frame and everything. Like, what if they did something like that, where like it's actually a fun time to go through your instruction booklet? I used to read instruction booklets. This is because I was so poor. I would read an instruction booklet hoping that it was a strategy guide. Like I was looking for like little hints, and sometimes there was a little like try this and like it's a little like hint instead of an actual like this is technically how you play the game. There was always like something, a little bonus, a little hidden in there.
Yeah.
And I always loved that because then that led me to go seek out the instruction booklet.
Yeah.
So I think there's
I
some value
remember
there
when
too.
I used to read the original Zelda booklet, and it was a little bit thicker than a normal booklet, and I would like look at the pictures. Like, is there a hint in the pictures?
Yeah, man.
Is there something I'm missing in these pictures that are maybe correlates to the game and carries on? So absolutely. I think
you could do secret stars in a Mario game. Like that you could only see if you like spotted like one of the frames. Like here it is. Like we're not going to tell you even what world that's in or whatever, but like it's right there if you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Like little Easter eggs. Nintendo fans are crazy for Easter eggs. So
absolutely, man. Absolutely. But okay, so I think we're kind of all in agreement at this point that we would bring back instruction booklets. Jason made a kind of a good point where he was like, "Hey, I would make it a collector's edition of some sorts."
I'm gonna get that money from you any way I can.
Well, that's the question I was going to ask, because when you look at how Nicholas does it, Limited Run, and all these other companies. So a typical indie game is what, $20, and then these indie physical copies are going for about $40. And then they're even going as crazy now and getting like, dude, that Golf Story collector's edition. You see that thing with the trophy and stuff? It was like, holy cow! Now I'm not talking about that because that's a totally different animal. You know what I mean? Like we're not talking collector's editions. But my question is what type of a value would you put on an instruction? And that's the other thing. Do you really think people are going to pay more money for an instruction booklet?
I don't think on itself. I think it has to be tied into some other. But I think like look what Limited Run is doing. Like they've really said they've got a really good business model going because you only can get the game. There's limited quantities, and when it gets announced that especially an indie darling that people love is going to get that physical release, and they have just a couple little tie-ins like that, not counting like the Golf Street you mentioned, but sometimes they at least give you something extra with those physicals. People go crazy for it, and they sell out.
Well, Limited Run changed the way they do it now. Now they do pre-orders, and they open the pre-order for a certain amount of time. The collector's editions and stuff, I think that's limited. That's like, hey, this is going to be a certain lot of numbers, but now Super Rare Games, they basically said like Jules just put out the game. He just did Mutant Mud's collection over there. They put out 4,000 copies, and that was it. That was the end. So that was kind of cool how that all went together.
I think you can kind of sort of like stamp them or mark them in some way that's like individualized to the instruction booklet, like so that becomes like one of like you mark it like one of 2,500 or whatever.
If you numbered them too, that would make things all of a sudden when you put that stupid little number on them, changes the whole ballgame. I'll be honest with you, I've had this conversation numerous times with Toby and Alan because they were inbox collectors of Amiibo, and I said to them, the only reason I opened them, there was never a number on it.
Yeah.
They have numbers on their boxes in the UK. And I was like, if Nintendo of America would have put that number on it, I never would have opened an Amiibo. And that would have been my downfall. But the minute they didn't do that, I was like, well, there's nothing really special about this. There's no difference between this one and this one and this one. Boom. And I started opening them all up. So I think that if you put a number in the instruction booklet, maybe like a stamp or a seal of some sorts to make it kind of like a special thing, and then put a number in there, I think that would push people a little bit. What kind of a dollar value you guys thinking that a booklet is worth to you guys?
Like
what do you? So you look at it like
I'm glad you're saying it that way, though.
Yeah.
What's that?
I would say I'm glad you're like putting it that way because I'm all like, yeah, I would totally pay more for an instruction booklet. Like, I want that. And then you're like, how much more would you pay? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah. But at this, like, I was thinking about, wouldn't it be, and maybe my brain is just so weird and messed up, but like, I would almost rather get my Nintendo game and then go, if you want to buy the instruction booklet, you can have, like, maybe they have some sort of partnership with like Vistaprint or something. You say like, It's available. Anybody can go buy it, and they can print off as many copies as they want to and deliver directly to their door. It's just they're not going to package them into the things. But if you ever want it, maybe you're liking the game, you want a little bit more, you could buy a $5 or $10 instruction booklet and maybe a little trinket, and it comes delivered to you, like custom digital printed for you. And that I would probably pay like between $5 and $10 for. A little notepad or something like that, like the little note section at the end, a little pen.
I don't think that you should my personal opinion, I don't think you should separate the game from the instruction booklet, because then it almost becomes you're running two different businesses to some degree. And what I mean by that is you're having a competing thing. Like, who's going to buy the booklet by themselves? And I think it should just come bundled together. That's my opinion. And I'll even go as far as to say is I wouldn't charge anything additional.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Is that ultimately I guess I don't want to pay more.
What I would maybe do is go, hey, look, we're gonna put instruction booklets in the first, if it's a Zelda game, if it's a Mario, in the first 1 million copies.
I like that.
Oh, Bobby, yeah.
And then never again, and that's it.
I like that. That's awesome.
And then that way, it gives people the incentive to go, I'm buying the game, because listen to me here. Especially
we were.
No, what I'm saying is, especially like Sony and Xbox, right, where their games a month after launch plummet in price, where Nintendo keeps the value up there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
This would drive people to go out right away and buy the games, because you have to buy them if you want the instruction book. Because the minute they pass that 1 million mark, it's done. And I think it would help push sales. At least, I mean, it's going to help probably the first year or two. You know what I mean? Then when the novelty wears off, it'll be like anything else. And people are like, whatever. But hey, man, if that helps get you numbers right off the jump street, why not do it? You know? And I think
really
if
smart.
you did it,
I do like that.
But I think if you did it too, you would get third parties to follow suit easily. And I think that, you know, I just look at what Nicholas and all these companies are doing. They're selling games just based off of physical copies and based off the instruction books.
Yeah.
And a keychain or something like that they're throwing in there. Like, it's crazy to think. Like, there's a lot of people that are going out and buying every single Nicholas game because they're taking a little bit of dedication and putting it behind their packaging. Limited run, super rare. It's a little different because it's the whole mail-in order thing and all that nonsense. And you got to, you know, but like Nicholas, dude, everybody's going right out and buying those. There's some of those games that, like, I wouldn't even have bought, and people ran out and got them just because they were like, I got to have them. You know, and it's pretty.
It drives it, which is...
It does. It's crazy to think, too, how a stupid thing is. It's just a booklet, but it ticks on that nostalgia thing so much, and that's the thing that drives a lot of what we do when you're collecting. It's that whole nostalgia thing that drives you to go do that stuff. It's kind of
how many pages is required for a Smash Brothers Ultimate instruction manual?
At least one for every character.
Separate,
so at least with
separate box.
You need like an extended Switch case to hold it.
I guarantee you they're going to put out one of those big, thick, you know, what is it? Oh my God, my mind just went blank. Strategy guides. My mind just blanked out.
Private games.
Like the one they did one for Zelda. They did one for Mario. They did one for Xenoblade. Like, I think that, like, you get these big special games. Yeah, they're gonna do that for Smash, no doubt.
I'll be a sucker for an art book or a making of book if they put one of those out for
Ultimate. You know they're going to. They're gonna treat this game like it's nobody's business. Okay, so topic number 2. If we ran Nintendo, how would we go about balancing mature games with the family-friendly games? So in the past, Nintendo has been very heavy on family-friendly and push, and this is where the idea came from. Nintendo's been very heavy with the family-friendly stuff, typically in the past. And when they did delve into the mature stuff, they would pull stuff out, i.e., the blood in Mortal Kombat, you know, different things like that they would do to basically tone down the violence and all that. Seems like with the Switch, they're just going full throttle. And it's like, whatever you want to do, you do. We don't care. My question is does it become a point where they're setting themselves up for future failure, or do you think they're okay to do what they're doing and continue? Like, do they have to have a moderation between family-friendly stuff and then mature stuff.
I think this is the moderation. I think before it was way too overcorrected, where everything, like you didn't even have a choice. Everything was going to be some sort of like watered down version of something else. I think now gamers have the ability to choose like the Mario or their first party stuff for their kids, and then as an adult or a parent, then you can have the Wolfenstein on the exact same system. Like you and I talked about this even before, back in the NX days, I think, where they needed to like, who's this thing going to be for? And it needs to be for parents who are gamers and they want to have like one system and have it be the thing for everybody in the house. I think PlayStation at the time was doing a really good job of that with Ratchet and Clank and a few other games of the like, but they've since kind of gone away from that. So I think
way away from that.
I think it's more just on a game to game basis. I think this is a much richer environment to be a Switch fan now than it was back in the Super Nintendo days.
Yeah, and I think there's a good balance there, and with the question about availability and what games make into the hands of kids. Correct me if I'm wrong, but with the parental controls app too, can't you lock access based on game ratings?
It's true. I think you can, if I'm not mistaken.
So I think that's a really good feature that they have.
Yeah.
How do you control Joseph's gameplay, Bobby? How do you control your son's?
I call his mom.
Yeah.
And I go in there and pull the wooden spoon out and smack him in the face.
Yeah.
Take the controller away.
Oh boy.
Fortnite becomes a Nerf fight game.
Yeah. So I think that's a good tool here, but because I think there's a good balance there. I think I mean, let's face it, everything we get that's first party is typically going to be family friendly from Nintendo.
Yeah.
My tastes have changed as for where I appreciate. I think everything more. I don't have to be that hardcore gore and violence. I need all that in my games. Now I kind of play whatever, but I think there's enough there that to satisfy that audience that we didn't have in the previous cycles of Nintendo consoles. I think they're still there. I mean, yeah, it might feel heavy-handed towards the more mature side, but I think there's still enough there for a family-friendly audience. I mean, we just got Mario Party just came out today. It's going to destroy families at the same time, but there's an audience there for that.
Yeah.
And I think again, the parental control app can help make sure things like that. If you do have, a mixed household, you can control what kids get into that, and then again, that's on the parents to do that. And I feel like as Sean and I become parents, and as we have become parents, we're aware of these things, and we, like when I was growing up, my parents didn't care what I played. There was times like I don't want you playing any of those games, and that lasted for like, I don't know, a day, and then it was like, whatever. Or I just remember like buying Resident Evil 2, and remember the guy at GameStop was like, well, this is mature, and she's like, yep, okay. Now, if you go to a game store and, I think employees are.
I think I was fortunate enough. I didn't grow up in that era. When I was playing the NES, I was a little bit old enough that like games weren't really like that.
Yeah.
And then when the Super Nintendo hit, I was 17, 18, something like that. So I didn't have that issue.
Right.
Like my mom was just like, "What am I going to do?" Like,
well, because you had Nintendo. Like if you had PC, that was the thing. You didn't have to worry, and I guess that's maybe your point. Is like, do you need to have a system where you really don't have to worry? And with Sega, everything's like tits and ass, and everything's fast. PC was like anything anybody could imagine making. Like I remember growing up thinking. And as kids, we would make whatever our parents were hearing, like, no, that like it's exaggerated or it's a lie. Like anything like, oh, are you playing a game where you're stabbing German shepherds in the face with a knife? It's like, no, of course not. Like that's how could that even be a thing? And then they would never check back, and you just made it seem like a myth or a legend. Like, or Doom has a chainsaw. And it's like, no, that's horrific. Or Leisure Suit Larry, definitely not.
I think what I wonder is, because Nintendo is allowing this now, is there ever any fear that parents are buying these consoles thinking, hey, this is Nintendo, they're family friendly, and parents aren't really realizing that these mature games are on the console?
Right.
Yeah, good.
Because in the past, they weren't. You know what I mean? Like in the past, you really didn't have those issues. So
Nintendo's finally like parent your kids instead of Nintendo saying we're going to parent for you.
And that's kind of the crazy thing to some degree.
Yeah.
Because there's no typical Nintendo fashion. They don't tell anybody. They just do it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then what I'm wondering is do you ever feel like you're gonna run the risk of parents then turning on Nintendo and just going like, well, you're my kid got this game. How did they get this game in their hands? And like,
because you stuck.
That's the problem. They don't ever, in this world we live in, people don't blame themselves.
No, exactly.
They blame Canada.
It's always do what?
They blame Canada for their beady little eyes and all the other stuff. Song South Park.
It's not a real country anyway.
Speaking of South Park, I'm so happy that that Stick of Truth is coming.
Oh yeah, man.
That's
speaking of games that you not normally find on a
kids shouldn't have. You know what I mean?
I played Wolfenstein and Doom on a Nintendo console.
Well, the thing
never thought we'd get back to that.
That's the thing for me is I'm very happy with the mature games that are coming to the Switch because I just don't feel like I have to have a PlayStation or an Xbox at the moment. I do have them, but I don't feel like I'm missing out on a whole at this moment because I'm like, hey, I can just go jumping. You know, it'll get to Switch eventually, and I'll go. Like, obviously, there's games like Forza that I want to play, stuff like that are never going to make it to the Switch.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's just like, you know what? These are the games that I want to play. I'm going to just take my time and play them. And when they get here, no big deal, and just enjoy it. But it's kind of interesting to see this roll. I like the way it's going.
Yeah.
But sometimes I always wonder and always just think, like, what's the bigger picture here?
Nintendo role in the world has changed since the NES and Super Nintendo days in that, like, they were just trying to own the marketplace, which was kids. Like, if you could just try and get their kids and those kids talking about their Nintendo or Super Nintendo at the playground, then the next kid is going to ask their parents, the next kid is going to ask their... Yep. So it's like, that made sense. But, like, now they can't continue to acquire kids, I guess, and then have them mature, grow up, and then move on to something else. Like, they lost so much market share when the PlayStation 1 came out, and the kids who, like, were born and raised on NES graduated onto the PlayStation. So they, by them allowing all the games on the same system, like, they kind of keep you in the Nintendo world instead of just one, like, they would just be repeating history again. And just, if Nintendo is always there for, like, your first, like, baby's first video game, it also is a bad look. Like, people look upon a Nintendo system as a lesser than because it's always going to be attached to kids. And there's still more family-friendly stuff on Nintendo, so it's still like a core of their identity anyways, and all this other stuff is an extra. So I don't think that it's a problem necessarily, but I love the way that they've struck a balance. You know, you got your crappy Mario Party games coming out every 5 years, and you can have all the Wii U ports, and then you got Wolfenstein or Steen or however you say it. Why you gotta do that? I hear it's really bad. That sucks. I'm actually disappointed.
I hear it's not bad. I hear it's really good. I hear the issue is that people that thought you could play it online, that's not really what you can do.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Yeah,
but that's not what Mario Party is either. Mario Party is where you're sitting around with your friends and you're fighting with each other.
No, well, my friends don't live here. I hate the people here. I like you guys.
I don't have any friends either.
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
Yeah, well,
I've had people try to sell that game on me, and I was like, nope.
No.
Mario Party? Listen, here's the thing. Either you love Mario Party or you don't. It's. I don't think there's anybody in the middle. It's either you're a big fan of the series or you're just like, meh. And that's how I am. I'm just like, meh, whatever. I don't have anybody here to play with, so I didn't buy it.
Yep, exactly.
Like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to buy it.
Don't you think you'd buy it if you could play it with us? That'd be cool.
I was going to buy it for Jams, to play with him.
That's what I'm
saying. I realized I can't play the boards.
Yeah, the online
I can play
mode
the mini games, but it's not what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not to say that they don't do an update or a patch later on and patch that in, but at this point, it's not the game I want.
Yeah, I just thought after what they gave us on the Wii U, I thought this was going to be that full-fledged experience.
Mm-hmm. I think it is. I think it is minus the online. I think it's a big fix compared. Listen, the Wii U one was you're stuck in a car. And that's all you did.
Yeah,
this one is different. You're actually it's a board. You're doing stuff. Everybody that I've talked to that's played this one loves this one. That there's just some things lacking. So it's typical Nintendo. You take 3 steps forward, 1 step back. And that's really, I don't think.
Well, and I didn't throw it out there to be completely flippant. I think that in a way, Nintendo is held to a higher standard for these games. Like, if they're gonna go family friendly, like they almost have to be AAA, like 9s or 10s. They have to be really like Mario and Zelda and everything we've seen so far. First party is really, really good. Mario Aces is a 7-ish, and people are like, it brings the whole thing down. So if your focus is on family friendly games, you can't be pooping these things out. They've got to be really good. They've got to be Nintendo seal of quality. So
I think where Nintendo hurts themselves lately is their online play, meaning their games are solid when you're playing at home by yourself or with friends. It's when they take that experience online where it just misses something.
Yeah.
Splatoon's a home run, Mario Kart's a home run, but Mario Aces just doesn't hold up that well. ARMS, I think, is fantastic. I think ARMS is probably one of the coolest lobbies in all of gaming.
Definitely, yeah.
Like, I think that's a fantastic lobby system that they put there. But, like, when you look at Mario Party, you look at Mario Aces, it just misses just a little bit. And I think that's what pulls people's happiness down on these games. So they need to work on that and fix that.
I will say, after firing up Forza Horizon 4 this week, and as much as I love my Xbox, you know, jumping into Splatoon and Mario Kart, as you mentioned, and just playing an online game is a trillion times easier because it's so focused. The experience is so focused. You know what you're getting with Mario Kart. You know what you're getting with Splatoon. You walk up and you sign in with your friends and that's it. Like, because the games on other systems can be much more convoluted and bloated and a lot more features, which sounds like that's what you want. But when it comes to, like, all I want to do is play with my friends. I just want to drive around with my buddies. And it's like, how do I do? Like, you're sitting there, like, and you get frustrated. And that happens with a lot of games.
Where am I?
Are we in the same session? Like, what does convoy mean? Like, a lot of different things. Nintendo makes that very simple. Their menu systems have always been excellent. So regardless if it's family friendly or for adults, like, everybody gets it. And that's, like, masterful UI design.
Yeah. I remember the first time I played Forza, and I'm playing, and I see Sean Capri go flying by me, and I'm like, is that Sean? Is he playing now? and I didn't realize it. Like, no, it's not. It's like a ghost in Mario Kart. Like, he's just, you know, it's what he did previously in it. Now, we're getting off on a tangent, but I'm just kind of curious. Did they fix? Because remember, Toby had that issue where he was like, you know, if he's playing a game and he's playing against Sean in the game, Sean's driver doesn't necessarily drive like Sean. Is it more suited to, like, the more hours you put in, the actual cars, the AI learns the way you drive, so that when you race against,
I've never really known how I would know how much or how little it does drive.
See, that's the thing. Like, with Toby, his main thing is with Mike drive. So him and Mike play all the time. They race all the time.
And he
knows the tendencies of what Mike will do. But then when he played Forza, he was like, Mike wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, Mike wouldn't let off the gas there. He'd hammer down and take...
See, it's better to be ignorant, man. Toby, just pay less attention. It's way better to go, like, sure, I'm sure Jason Lacy would slam into the side of my car like that. Probably.
Yeah.
Cutthroat.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real quickly, we got a few minutes before we wrap up. I do want to...
What you playing? Brought to you by Flexipose?
No, I want to talk about... So we got... Real quick, let's wrap this up. So on the topic one, we would bring back instruction booklets.
Yes.
I think we were all in agreement we do, like, an allotted amount. Like, the first 1 million copies, get the booklets. Anything else? No.
Do it.
As far as the family-friendly stuff, we would kind of stay in the realm of where Nintendo is now.
Stay the course.
Stay the course of what's going.
Stay on target.
So that's basically where we're at that. But I wanted to talk to you guys real quickly. And ultimately, just because of this news that came out about Nintendo putting out a new Switch in 2019. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is, I know my feelings. Obviously, I've done videos on it all and all that stuff. But my curiosity to you guys were, when the first phase came out, it was like, hey, it's coming. Now, all of a sudden, people are starting to distort what Wall Street Journal said. Because Wall Street Journal just said, there's a new upgrade coming in 2019, and summer 2019. Now people are taking that and taking the rumors that Marcus Sellers threw out there 2 months ago. And now all of a sudden we're getting this 4K console again.
Oh, boy.
But I want to know what you guys feel in terms of what this thing will actually be.
Prepare to be disappointed, everybody.
Yeah.
Prepare. It's not even going to be close. They're going to throw a headphone jack on the unit, and that's it. Something stupid like that. They're going to improve the battery and like
headphone jack on it.
I'm sorry, maybe on the control. I don't know. They're going to like just something stupid.
Like some sidestep.
I think what's ultimately going to happen,
or Bluetooth head. I don't know.
They're going to upgrade the tablet section, meaning there's when they released the Switch originally, they didn't use NVIDIA's best chipset. They were using the year behind's chipset. They weren't using the Tegra 1 or Tegra X1 or whatever. They were using an older chipset. So obviously they've taken one step forward already that they could take that. Then there is a rumor as well that they're going to utilize 1080 on the screen, and they're going to use the same type of screen that Apple's using with the XR screen. I guess that's a new type of glass or something that they're using. So that's my understanding, is that's the way they're going to get the tablet section. And I think that's the only upgrade you're really going to get with this thing. I don't think it's going to be super juiced. They're talking about like improved memory. This is the thing that makes me laugh. Nintendo's now going to be 128 gig internal hard drive. No, it's not. That's not going to happen. They're going to half step it. It'll go maybe 64 at best. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, they're talking about this whole ramped up thing, and it's not. That's my feelings. What do you guys like? Sean, you're saying prepare to be
like almost nothing, dude. Like I think of when Sony actually PlayStation does this quite a bit, where there's a new model number, but it's like the last letter or the last number is changed, and like they change like the power transformer inside or something silly like that. I think this is going to be so marginal. It's not even a screen upgrade. It's not any of these things. It is going to be a new model, but I don't think it's an upgrade yet. And part of I was thinking like. You and I have talked about this, that from day one, they should do it. They should have a Pro or a new Switch or a Super Switch or whatever. I think that should be part of it. But then I was looking at Stealth and all the things that he was saying and how clutch Animal Crossing and Pokemon is to like get this thing out there. They need their Switches to be inexpensive. They need that to be something that it can walk into anybody's house. Now, that creates a pivot point for me in terms of like, if they do a Super Switch, that means that the new one becomes less expensive, and that actually makes it for a better point that maybe it is a Super Switch. But at the same time, they already have supply chain issues. Like, why would they then split it in half to have like a super powered one, like a Pro, and then they've got the normal one, and now they don't have enough of either? So I don't know, man. I would be wowed if they did something really impressive and crazy, but I don't think it's going to be anything yet.
So the other thing that's being said, and this was actually being said by the Wall Street Journal, was the reasoning is Nintendo's starting to see numbers dip, and they're getting nervous. So they feel like if they put out a new console, it'll revitalize things and push the numbers back up again. I don't agree with that. No. Like, you look at week in, week out at the numbers. It's the number one console on the market. It's crushing everybody, especially in Japan. Like, the numbers are through the roof in Japan. So I just don't see it.
I think this new one is less expensive to manufacture. I think that's key.
That could be too.
So they could drop the price.
Yeah.
They could
like
be
when
50.
I first heard it, I immediately I go into panic mode. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be better than mine. And where I'm in a position now where I can't go latest and greatest anymore. So then I get all angry, and I'm like, ugh! But then I'm like, okay, let's think about this. Honestly, I would think we're gonna have some sort of hardware revision to fix the exploit that the hackers have done.
Oh yeah, good point.
So we'll have a new version of that eliminates that.
Yep.
I think I agree with what Bobby's saying. Is maybe a chipset upgrade. Maybe we'd see an advancement in battery life.
Possibly. I've never had an issue with battery.
I think we would have something that would make this more a different price point than the model that we've already had, because they want to make a push to have families have be multi-Switch households. Well, you need not every house at $299. That's a bit of a grab, but if you can bring in something that maybe a different SKU that makes some compromises or does something, it brings down the price point, or by maybe introducing this, it drops the price point of the original model. That's one way you can kind of get those numbers up. But let's face it, if they were really worried about driving sales of that console, just offer some. We've seen how crazy people go for customs. They could just put some skins on the Switch.
Yep.
Sell it, and people would go crazy. Especially like what we see with the hype that's generated on any of these, like the Pokemon, and to a lesser extent the Smash one, just because of docks. Like if you got us a full, more custom skin Switch itself, I think that would push numbers if that was an issue they're having. But I kind of agree too, is come in tempered expectations, probably marginal gains on this if it is something. And I think there's a pattern here. I think if I'm remembering correctly, like we saw one of the first revisions with the 3DS was about that year and a half roadmap after its release that we saw a different version come out. So it's just kind of Nintendo's pathway that they've taken with their hardware. Let's just hope if it is an actual new variant of the Switch that they've gotten a lot better at naming stuff.
Yeah, but think of when has Nintendo ever been about power though? When have they ever been like, we've got something? So like this is so off-brand. It's not even funny. Look at the Vita. The way Vita did and tackled sale problems was they had the new. They got rid of the OLED screen. Like it's objectively a worse console, but a lot of people found it to be more comfortable. So there's maybe a form factor that could be changed. Maybe it could be lighter. So there's different things that they could do for the handheld experience. It could drop the price. I definitely think that's the way. You know what? I'm convinced. I've convinced myself I'm a genius. These are the best ideas.
Well, the thing too is
I'm smiling.
We talked about this early on, Sean. We always said that like they'll probably just offer, if they're smart, they just offer the tablet section. You know what I mean? They go like here's two SKUs. One is $399 or whatever. It's $299 right now for the Switch. So one is $299 and it's more powerful and all that. And one is $399 and that's going to be the Joy-Cons and the dock and all that stuff. And then here is a $199, which is the old version of the Switch. I think that's ultimately what we see. But if, let me put it to you this way. If what the Marcus Seller rumors are true, it hurts Nintendo in a big, bad way.
I agree.
And the reason why I say that is he's also talking about Nintendo allowing third parties to decide which console gets their games. That's a big mistake for Nintendo. Like, that will devastate that company. Because just like exactly what we just said, where people are finally to the point where like, oh, well, it's the all-in-one console. Now you're telling me I got to go up, I have to go upgrade.
Yeah, I see it more as a generational thing. Like the timing should be closer to when a PS5 comes out or the next Xbox comes out, and so it can just be under that. So it's too soon.
Yeah.
They don't need to be the ones forcing the issue for power.
Because the other thing too is you don't know what PS5 and what Xbox, we'll just say 2, is going to be.
God.
Right.
You know, I know it's so stupid of a name to go back like that. But anyway, so the thing of it is you don't know what power is going to be under the hood for those. Obviously, Nintendo's going to have to do an upgrade. Nintendo is going to have to do upgrades to try to keep that window and that gap a little tight. So this way, when the time comes, third parties will still want to produce games over on the Switch.
Yep.
I guess time will tell ultimately.
So, I can't wait to find out, man.
I can't either. It's going to be pretty awesome. That is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of If We Ran Nintendo. You can follow everything that Sean is doing over on Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. You can also, if you want to support him on Patreon, go to patreon.com/makeusbetter. Mr. Jason Lacy here. You can check him out over on Twitter at JW Lacey. Also, he has a Patreon as well at patreon.com/fluxdeposed. And then myself, just go over to nintendoguru.com. Check out the stuff that I'm doing over there. Please support the podcasts with a little rating, a little review. That'd be awesome. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
X gonna give it to you, Bobby. Wibble, wibble.